This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Well, the time right now is 4:27 here. It is a Wednesday morning. We do want to thank you for starting your day with us early here on RTV6. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Meredith Barrick. We begin with breaking news from overnight. A person walking their dog made a startling discovery. This as they found a newborn baby inside a plastic bag in Seymour.
Yeah, and we're told by the police department there that that infant was taken to a local hospital to be checked out. Obviously a shock, I'm sure, to the person who found this baby, but this just serves as a reminder for all of us, especially people in that area. There are those safe haven baby boxes. They're all across Indiana, the state of Indiana, really. And what happens is if you do have to drop off an infant, you have some sort of situation where you cannot care for your child, no questions asked. They don't want you to throw the baby in the garbage, throw the baby out in a plastic bag like that person did. That sounds an alarm. It will be no questions asked, a safe place for the baby.
And taken care of immediately.
Yes, right away.
Yeah.
So we do want to talk about our hiring Hoosiers, though.
Yeah, we know there is a major need for more workers in the manufacturing industry. And Lauren, you went to an event that is trying to target younger people and get them into the manufacturing world.
Yeah, they're looking ahead to the next generation of workers to fill these roles. And this was a really cool event. They had more than 1,000 students here at Major Tool and Machine. This is a huge manufacturing business right here on the northeast side of Indianapolis. And so they welcomed a ton of businesses and educational partners here to their facility, and all of these students from across the state. And they got to go to these booths and do these hands-on experiences, really, and talk to people who work in the industry about different opportunities. It's all about educating yourself about all the options that are out there for you after you graduate from high school. We do want to take a turn right now to our forecast. Alyssa, I woke up to some rain showers in Greenwood.
Yes, so some areas still seeing those rain showers this morning. We saw the most of the system move through overnight. A few isolated thunderstorms in there as well this morning. We really have just this one line of showers and isolated thunderstorms continuing to push east this morning. That's going to quickly move out of our area, and we are going to be left with a dry day. However, a cloudy day. We're going to see a quick peak of sunshine this morning as that system moves out, and then we are going to see a little bit more cloud coverage throughout the day. But you'll notice those temperatures don't change too much. We're starting in the 40s this morning, only climbing into the low 50s this afternoon. The good thing is we are going to start a warming trend as we head into the weekend. We are going to be back into the low 70s.
All right, Alyssa, thank you. And finally, as some of you may know, our Rafael Sanchez is joining us here on Good Morning Indiana. We are so excited to have him, and he is bringing us an only on RTV6 story about one of the grandmothers of the Delphi daughters. She is opening up about her private cancer battle as they continue to look for the girl's killer. All that and more coming up on Good Morning Indiana.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Coming up on Good Morning Indiana, new development on the east side, giving residents and local businesses hope for growth in the area. The plans in the works for the vacant Angie's List buildings.
And an attorney is asking for charges to be dismissed for a couple accused of abandoning their adopted daughter. Why he says they were actually victims of fraud.
Plus, a newer higher education center being proposed in Plainfield, how this facility plans to help college students on their career paths. It is 4:30 here on your Wednesday morning. Thanks for starting your day early with us here on RTV6. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Meredith Barrick. Alyssa Donovan joining us here at 4:30. And Alyssa, there were some overnight storms, but those are moving out right now.
Yes, so they're moving out quickly right now. What they're leaving behind them is some cooler air. So that's what we're going to talk about this morning. We do have just a few lingering showers hanging out to our east, but we are seeing that cooler air move in from the north right now. We're into the low 40s to the north right around Lafayette, and you can see that temperature gradient. Still seeing some of that warmer air to the south of us in the 50s right around Bloomington. We are going to catch up. Temperatures are going to drop a little bit yet this morning. We'll be into the mid to low 40s by the late morning hours. And then we also have just a few lingering stray showers, maybe a thunderstorm isolated in this line that's moving across some of those southeast counties right now. That's quickly moving out, though, and that's going to be the last of the precipitation from this system that moved through yesterday. That cold front passing brought us that cooler cooler air. And next, we are going to see mostly clear skies briefly this morning, and then we will see a little bit more cloud coverage throughout the day. Mostly going to be a gloomy day with cloud coverage creeping in. Temperatures starting in the 40s this morning, so it's going to be a cool start today. And we're only climbing a couple degrees. We'll be in the low 50s this afternoon. We are warming up in the 7-day forecast. All of those details in just a few minutes.
All right, Alyssa, thanks so much. Let's take a live look right now on the northwest side. This is our INDOT traffic camera along I-65 near Lafayette Road. Ongoing road construction in this area. If you look closely, you can see those orange barrels bringing traffic down to one lane. We have barrels in both directions, northbound and southbound. So a heads up as you travel on the northwest side on I-65 this morning. Taking a turn right now over to the east side. This is I-70 and Sherman Drive. Traffic in this area looks to be traveling up to speed. No issues here traveling eastbound or westbound for your commute.
This morning, there is new hope that the vacant buildings that once housed Angie's List will be occupied once again. Since the beginning of the fall semester, the Ball State College of Architecture and Planning has been using one of the main buildings. That location has been vacant for more than 2 years. The move by Ball State is giving local business owners hope that more people will also invest in these buildings.
With these buildings getting occupied once again, hoping for more foot traffic, people coming here after work.
With the buildings where they are and as beautiful as they are, it'd be fun to actually go inside and drink a beer or buy something.
Neighbors say any new businesses that come to the east side would be a win for the community.
Well, one of the attorneys defending a man and a woman accused of adopting a child from Ukraine and then abandoning her is asking for the charges to be dismissed. He says that couple is actually a victim of fraud. A hearing was held for Christine and Michael Barnett yesterday. They both face neglect charges this morning. The Barnetts allegedly rented a girl an apartment in Tippecanoe County a few years after adopting her and never talked to her again. Well, they claim that girl was actually an adult pretending to be a child. Michael Barnett's attorney also wants his client's address to be removed from public records for safety reasons.
I'm very confident about our motions. I'm even more confident about Michael's innocence. We were prepared to argue those today. However, they were not set for a hearing, just for status. So we set those for the date for the 23rd of next week. Somewhat disappointed that Michael wasn't granted to exclude his home address from the public purview.
Well, the judge wants to see more evidence and hear testimony that Michael Barnett's safety is at risk. The judge did say that Christine Barnett can leave the state and then return to her home in Florida. Her attorney declined to comment.
We're working to learn what's next for a woman facing charges nearly 1 year after reporting her son to police. Mary York turned herself in at the Wayne County Jail on Tuesday. In December of last year, York called police to warn them that her 14-year-old son had taken a family member hostage and forced them to drive him to Dennis Intermediate School in Richmond. She said he planned to open fire at the school. Police say they cornered the teen in a stairwell and he killed himself. York now faces several charges, including neglect of a dependent and criminal recklessness.
It is 4:34, an Indianapolis organization getting a big boost in its fight to continue to serve our community. It's been just over a month since RTV6 first told you Joy's House Adult Day and Caregiving Center may be forced to shut down due to a sudden funding shortage. Since our story first aired, we learned the group has received a $100,000 matching gift from a local donor. Joy's House says that means every gift up to that amount will double.
An Indianapolis man is reaching out to RTV6 for help after almost a year of frustration. He says a trash truck cracked and broke his curb late last year and the damage still hasn't been repaired. Russell Cassidy says the problem in front of his house is marked by 2 big green cones that have been part of his yard since the start of 2019. According to the city's database, Cassidy's curb complaint has been listed as open and unresolved since January. It's a problem he says is unacceptable.
If this was the mayor's house, I bet he wouldn't have this sitting in front of his house. I bet the governor wouldn't have it sitting in front of his house. You know, why should I have it? I pay my taxes just like he does and just like the mayor does and the governor. Why can't I get things done?
A DPW spokesperson tells RTV6 Cassidy's curb likely won't be repaired until Harlan Street is included in a capital improvement project when other work will be done. But DPW says that project has not been budgeted.
At 4:36, an investigation into an allegation of excessive force by a Greenfield police officer is now in the hands of the Hancock County Prosecutor's Office. That department says the officer has been on paid administrative leave since August 26th. No other details about the accusation have been released except that it allegedly happened during an arrest. Greenfield police say they asked state police to investigate the case, and the findings have been forwarded to the prosecutor. Longtime Indianapolis police officer Bill Benjamin has accepted Senator Jim Merritt's request to be his police chief. That is, if Merritt is elected to mayor next month.
Benjamin, a Democrat, says his name kept coming up in Merritt's discussions about a possible chief. Benjamin is a 27-year veteran of IMPD and also served in the sheriff's office. He lost in the 2018 primary to be the next Marion County sheriff. Benjamin says that the city's crime problem is deeper than any political party, and Republican Jim Merritt's voting history does not bother him.
I like what the platform is today. I'm not thinking about past voting records or any of that thing. If he thinks that I'm the person to help reduce crime, slow the murder rate.
A spokesperson for Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett's campaign defended current IMPD Chief Brian Roach, saying, quote, under his leadership, our police force has grown, neighborhood ties have been strengthened, and law enforcement has once again returned to community-based beat policing, end quote.
At 4:37, a popular restaurant right here in downtown Indianapolis is closed for business temporarily. The new owner of Acapulco Joe's on Illinois Street is closing that restaurant for 2 weeks to make some updates and renovations. Paperwork to sell the restaurant was finalized yesterday. The food that was already on site will be donated to Second Helpings.
A proposal in one local town could soon help anyone on a path to a career they want or need. The town of Plainfield is considering a recommendation to build a higher education center just north of Plainfield High School. That facility would be called Made at Plainfield. The building would house classrooms and laboratories for colleges and universities, as well as other organizations involved in workforce development. Plainfield officials tell RTV6 anyone could enroll in classes at Made at Plainfield. It still needs to get final approval from the Plainfield Town Council. If it does, construction could begin in the summer of 2020, and the facility could open during the 2021 academic year.
12 Democratic candidates took the stage last night in the fourth primary debate. Coming up, the many jabs aimed at Senator Elizabeth Warren.
And a restaurant chain is offering employees the chance to go to college tuition-free. Still ahead, the new program offered to staff at Chipotle. Alyssa.
And we have a cloudy and cooler day today. Temperatures starting cool, staying cool by the afternoon. But we do have a warm up on the way in the 7-day forecast. I'll have all the details coming up.
Drive at Honda of Fishers.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. This is I-465 and I-69 up on the northeast side of town. Traffic here is moving along up to speed at this hour. No crashes or delays to slow you down around the metro area. Of course, we'll keep a close eye on things and keep you updated.
Here are some stories making national headlines today. Airlines are starting to offer travel waivers ahead of bad weather expected in the northeast. The National Weather Service says a strong nor'easter will bring heavy rain and strong wind. It's likely to affect Washington, D.C. all the way up to Maine. Heavy rain is also expected on Thursday.
As the conflict between Turkey and Syria intensifies, Vice President Mike Pence and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo are leading a delegation to negotiate a ceasefire deal. President Trump demanding an immediate end to Turkey's assault on Kurdish fighters. He's already moved all U.S. troops from Syria and recently imposed new sanctions on Turkey in response to those attacks. 12 candidates facing off in Ohio for the fourth Democratic presidential debate last night. This crowded field taking jabs and sparring over key issues like health care.
Many were attacking Senator Warren's policy positions, with Joe Biden playing defense over questions about his son's foreign business activities. ABC's Rachel Scott has more from Westerville, Ohio.
Time to fight back.
A rising Senator Elizabeth Warren riding into the fourth Democratic debate with a boost in the polls.
Shut down. Let's figure out.
No,
why it is that we
taking heat from her Democratic rivals.
You are making Republican talking points right now in this room.
The Massachusetts senator, known for her sweeping plans.
I will not sign a bill into law that does not lower costs for middle-class families.
Criticized for refusing to acknowledge if her Medicare for All policy would lead to tax increases.
At least Bernie's being honest here and saying how he's going to pay for this and that taxes are going to go up.
A yes or no question that didn't get a yes or no answer.
The divide on health care center stage. Warren pushing back.
Whenever someone hears the term Medicare for all who want it, understand what that really means. It's Medicare for all who can afford it.
But on the issue of impeachment, there was no debate.
Because as a former prosecutor, I know a confession when I see it.
He should be removed.
As President Trump calls for the Bidens to be investigated, former Vice President Joe Biden faced questions about his son's foreign business dealings while he was vice president.
My son did nothing wrong. I carried out the policy of the United States government in rooting out corruption in Ukraine.
And Senator Bernie Sanders stepping back into the ring after a recent heart attack, making clear he's ready to carry on.
And we are going to be mounting a vigorous campaign all over this country.
And as Senator Sanders heads back out on the campaign trail, he teased a special guest at his upcoming rally in New York City. Senior campaign sources tell ABC News it will be Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who plans to give Sanders her endorsement. Rachel Scott, ABC News, Westerville, Ohio.
Time right now is 4:45. Vice President Mike Pence says that he will not turn over documents related to his role in the impeachment inquiry. Pence made this announcement through a letter from his counsel. The president has called the inquiry illegitimate without a vote. After a closed-door meeting with her caucus, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says she's holding off on the inquiry at this time.
No injuries were reported after an explosion sparked a fire that destroyed ethanol tanks at a refinery in California. According to fire officials, more than 250,000 gallons of ethanol are burning at the New Star Energy facility. 2 tanks were completely destroyed and 2 others were damaged. Officials say the smoke is a public health threat and a shelter has been set up for people living nearby. Several wildfires were started as a result of the fire, but they have all since been contained. At 4:46, we want to take a look at our weather here at home. We had a rainy overnight, Alyssa, but those storms are now long gone.
That's right. So those showers are moving out. We have cooler, drier air moving in, and that's what's going to stick with us throughout the day. We're also going to see a bit of a gloomy day, quite a bit of cloud coverage expected throughout our afternoon. Behind this, though, a warming trend on the way. So we're going to be a little cool today, but we'll climb a few degrees each day, and we'll be back into the low 70s by the weekend. As we head into the weekend, we start to see some storm chances, and those are going to stick with us until early next week. So I want to show you, we do have just a few lingering showers moving off to our east right now into the area and Connorsville and down to the south, right around Seymour, just moving out along I-65. Most of that activity is starting to taper off. That's going to continue to push out of the region as we head into the eastern areas, and then we are going to see that high pressure build in behind that. So all of this is from that cold front that moved through yesterday. That brought us some showers overnight. Next, we have that high pressure, that cooler, drier air moving in, and you can see that on our map that cooler air is taking those temperatures down in the Midwest. We're down to the 40s in Des Moines, 30s up in Sioux Falls and Bismarck. That cool air moving into our area as well. And we are going to see those cooler winds helping usher in that cool, dry air. These west-northwesterly winds today going to keep our temperatures cool throughout the afternoon. We're going to see those gusts about 25 miles per hour throughout most of the day and sustained winds up to 15 to 20 miles per hour. So you're going to notice that breeze. And as that system moves out of the area, we'll see a brief break with that cloud coverage, but then that will build back in as we head into the afternoon. But you'll also notice that we're going to see those temperatures drop off this morning. So we'll be in the low 40s as you head out the door right around 8 a.m. And then we'll start a brief climb. We're not climbing very much, though. So we have those cool winds helping usher in that cold air. We'll be right around 51 degrees for our high. So a bit below average today. And then we are going to start that warming trend over the next couple days. By Saturday and Sunday, we are back into the low 70s. And then Saturday is going to be our next chance of a shower shower or thunderstorm, and then we'll see another chance late Sunday night and into Monday. Most of the day on Sunday, though, we'll see mostly sunny skies. Today, starting in the 40s this morning, we'll start with some clear skies in some areas, and then we'll see a little bit more cloud coverage build in throughout the day. 51 degrees for our high, so well below average today, and then we are staying cool tomorrow. We'll see some clearing overnight, which will allow us to cool down quite a bit. We'll be in the 30s by tomorrow morning, and then we'll only climb into the upper 50s tomorrow afternoon, but that is our warming trend that I was talking about. We'll be back into the low 70s by the weekend.
Alyssa, thank you so much. We're keeping a close eye on traffic as you're heading out the door to kick off your Wednesday. And here's a live look on the northwest side where we have ongoing road work. If you look closely, you can see the orange barrels there blocking some travel lanes. I-65 here at 56th Street on the northwest side. Traffic is still getting by up to speed, pretty quiet at this hour. Let's take a look right now at our map, monitoring some overnight road work here on the north side in those eastbound lanes. We'll continue to keep an eye out for any delays in that area. It looks red on our map, but let's take a look at it from our camera. You can see how we have some lanes blocked in this area, but the good news is traffic is pretty light still at this early hour. We'll continue to monitor this as traffic gets heavier throughout the morning, and we'll keep you updated on any issues.
With the $1,000 iPhone 11 Pro already on the market, Apple is coming out with a cheaper option. According to new reports, the new iPhone SE 2 would have a 4.7-inch display and will likely keep the home button. It will only have one single rear camera instead of the 11 Pro's 3 cameras. The SE 2 is expected to cost around $400.
At 4:50, Chipotle rolling out a new program to help their employees get college degrees. Employees can choose from 75 degrees at 5 schools, and the restaurant chain will cover the cost of tuition. All of the options are in business and technology fields. There's an application process, and you must have worked at Chipotle for at least 120 days with a minimum of 15 hours per week. Chipotle also requires staff to continue working for at least 6 months after earning their degrees.
A teen is making a big donation to help other children at a hospital. After the break, why she hopes these special Barbies will help improve their self-esteem.
And with Indigo's Red Line up and running here in Indianapolis, the focus is now shifting to the next steps for the rapid transit system. All new at 5 o'clock, the concerns residents are raising over the proposed Blue Line. But first,
I'm Benny Politan. Coming up today on Court TV, day 2 of Wisconsin versus Ezra McCandless. The defendant has been charged in the death of her boyfriend. Now, prosecutors say that she killed her boyfriend to get back together with her old boyfriend. The defense says, no, this was a case of self-defense. She was actually the victim. We are live in Wisconsin today on Court TV.
And don't forget, you can watch the all-new Court TV live on your mobile device by visiting CourtTV.com. We'll be right back.
And refined Atlas SE with technology.
A teen who has been a patient at Shriners Hospital all her life made a big donation to help uplift others. 18-year-old Chloe Newman gave 400 special Barbies to other young girls who have prosthetic limbs like she does. Like them, the dolls also have prosthetic legs. Chloe was born with a missing limb and has had multiple prostheses fittings at Shriners. When she found out Mattel created a line of Barbie dolls just like her, she wanted to collect as many as possible to share with other girls.
I think that they would feel better about themselves maybe, or at least that's what I'm hoping, that they would see, oh, that's really cool, they're making a Barbie like me, so like why should I be ashamed of myself if there's now toys like me?
A doctor at the hospital, Brock McConkey, says he has helped Chloe with her prosthetic leg for most of her life. He even made his own version of the doll many years ago. Chloe says Brock was one of the main reasons she wanted to donate the dolls.
Very cool. Well, it's not even Halloween yet, but the White House is already planning for Christmas. Hey, it's never too early. Christmas tree, one of its Christmas trees is already picked out, and it's going to come from the Nantongo Valley Farms out in Pennsylvania. They chose a 16-year-old Douglas fir that's more than 22 feet tall. The tree will be harvested in November and delivered to the White House to be on display in the Blue Room. And I got to visit the White House during Christmas. It's a must-see, I would say.
And now I feel like you will officially start decorating.
Yeah, so
now that we're starting to do
okay,
Christmas stories and all that.
Oh yeah, it's totally allowed.
Thankfully, though, it doesn't feel quite like Christmas outdoors.
No, not yet. We don't have any snow in the forecast. It's not that cool outside, but it is cooler today than it has been. Temperature temperatures starting in the 40s this morning will climb into the low 50s this afternoon with mostly cloudy skies throughout the day. Tomorrow, a cooler start will start in the 30s, climbing into the 50s, and then we're going to start a bit of a warming trend as we head into the weekend. Spot chances of showers Saturday, better chances on Monday and Tuesday.